Hello, sweet souls. Looks like we're just starting. Hopefully, everything is connected just fine. We are in the process of changing a lot of the way in which this process goes. So please let me know if you can hear me and that you can see me. Because if it doesn't, I have a backup plan. I have backup plans for days. But you guys, the game plan for this session is to actually work in form of a demonstration today. So I have two volunteers. Hey, Kaylani. Oh, yay. You're here, sweet pea. Please let me know if you can hear me. You can see me just fine. But the game plan for today is to do a demonstration of what thank you, Deborah, of what a 30-minute session is like with me, directly kind of private one-on-one. And so here in a little bit, I'm going to have two of my moderators that are going to be basically kind of running defense on any of those spammers that like to kind of come in and monopolize our show for us. So I see Miss Sandrine is here. I'm sure Lori will be coming in here in just a bit. But those two are going to be our moderators. So they're going to be ones with the kick out control. So that's going to be perfect for us. So hi, Sandrine. Hi, Miss Deborah. Oh my goodness. Hello, Michelle. I'm glad you guys are here. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm totally out of my rhythm. Oh my God. Don't you hate it when that happens? I'm also being blinded by the sun at the moment. So I'm kind of bouncing behind a tree. So forgive me in advance. Hi, Miss Simone. Eventually we'll figure out that blinds need to happen is what we'll do. So you guys, I have Mindy, I have Miss Kendra here, and they are going to be receiving full-on 30-minute sessions with me. And we'll be demonstrating basically any question that they have, any question that they're interested in, me digging in, me reading, and it's just going to be fun stuff and funs and games. So if you give me a moment, I still want to say hello to everybody. That was fast. I'm sure Miss Sandrine's gotten this one for me. But I am actually going to do a point of staying out of the comments until we're in between spots so that we don't have me distracted so far. And goodness, let me see if I can kick it. Adele. Adeline, my apologies. Hello, sweet pea. And if for some reason somebody accidentally gets blocked that wasn't supposed to get blocked, understand it's only for this session. You'll definitely be able to come back next go around, so it won't be an issue. But yeah, you guys, I believe Miss Mindy is ready. Miss Kendra is ready. Before we hop in, I just want to make sure that I've touched on all the high-level overviews. If you've never seen me read before, the way that I'm going to be doing it is basically using my tarot cards to kind of channel the information that my dear sweet volunteers are asking about. You might see me pull a card if I find that it's relevant. You might find that I don't. So maybe I'll burn it. There we go. I'll show it in the camera if it's relevant to our conversation. Or I won't. You'll also probably see me looking down because what I'm doing is doodling, sketching on this little digital notepad that I have. And for me, it's just another manner of me channeling information, me pulling the information in to answer the questions that either Miss Minnie or Miss Kendra would like to ask. So outside of that, the only thing that I can think of, if I'm missing anything, please understand that I am not a doctor. I'm not a CPA. And so while I will sometimes give medical information based on my experience, based on the business knowledge that I have or the medical knowledge and education that I have, understand that I am not a doctor and I will not be reading on time of death or lottery. Just want to make sure that everybody knows that I won't be reading on that. Hi, Yasmina. I'm glad that you're here. Oh my goodness, you sweet peas. I suspect that our viewing audience will be a little bit on the light side, but that's totally okay. It just makes it a little bit more, close bit. More close bit. Hi, Miss Ellison. Hello. So I'm going to go ahead and hop out of comments and so I can focus on my two sweet peas. And we'll get started with Miss Mindy. So 2 seconds. Let me hop out of there. Yay. Hi.
Hey.
How are you, sweetheart?
I'm excited. Excited.
Good. Fortunately, you have had a session with me before, so you kind of know how I operate. You know how I tend to work and how I read. Mm-hmm. But honey, you have me for three whole minutes. Wow. You have me for 30 minutes, and I'm sure the sun will move during our session. So I'll just kind of re-square myself as I'm able to. But hun, talk to me. What can I do for you? Let's go ahead and hop in.
Okay, well, since 2016, I've changed. I had a career. I was in the medical field for 20 some years, 20 odd years,
Yeah.
and I just needed a drastic change. And
Okay.
so I moved to South Carolina and got a new job. And I've kind of changed careers so many times since I've moved. And I've recently started another one in May, and I'm just
Okay.
curious as to if what my guides think about that. Am I on a good path? And finances too, like kind of
Okay.
work and finances, what they have to say, or they have anything
Yeah,
guidance for me.
absolutely. So just to make sure that I have it correctly, because I want to make sure I get your question spot
Mhm.
on, we're digging into primarily what your guides have to say about kind of the journey that you're on regarding your work, your career,
Yeah.
and your finances. Do I have that right?
Hmm.
Okay. Now, during this process, if you have any additional questions, please, oops, knocking over everything. Please totally like throw more in. I don't mind at
Okay,
all. So
cool.
let's dig in. Your career. You said you're in healthcare.
Right.
Healthcare. So I'm just kind of doodling, kind of getting pulled in. What's your team? I bet anything with this enhanced microphone, you can hear me whispering to myself now. So it's going to be added fun stuff. Uh,
Mhm.
what about your career? What do you want to know? Sorry, I'm just feeling my way through. I'm trying to see what I'm first getting. You know what the funny thing is, and the fun thing is that I'm not getting like a smack in the head regarding anything about your career, your trajectory.
Mhm.
So for me, when I experience that kind of not so much silence, but more of just kind of like observation,
Mhm.
it's merely that. It's more of your team is kind of watching you and waiting for you to tell them what it is that you're needing, what it is that you're trying to do, what it is that you're looking for. And then they sign up to kind of like run that errand, run over here, look over there, and help you kind of meet the needs that you're going for. Um, in in getting into this new business venture, what goal was it that you were trying to satisfy? Or what need was it that you were trying to satisfy?
Well, definitely pay bills. That is a huge goal. The
Gotcha.
business that we had, we really kept it open, like I was telling you before, a little bit longer than we should have. We just
Yeah.
put everything into it. And so now we're in this state of playing catch up and
Mhm.
trying to get our finances in order. My boyfriend, he has found a job that he's happy with, and he's doing well with that, which is great. And where I'm kind of straggling along and not sure what I want to do, and
Yeah.
so I'm interested in what I'm doing now, but I wouldn't say I'm passionate about it. So
What sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but the thing that just kind of slid in for us was your expectations surrounding what you're doing.
mhm,
And I'm wondering if maybe you're kind of following into the same camp that a lot of people do when it comes to new projects, new goals, new ideas, is that there's this expectation that the next one is the right one, quote unquote, and
yeah.
quote unquote. And it's not so much, or at least the feeling that I'm getting for you in regard to this is like to lean off of the expectations or the heavy expectations that you're going to get it right first out the gate, because it's not
Okay.
about getting it right. It's about going through the experience of
Mhm.
being an entrepreneur, doing things for yourself, having ownership and autonomy over the work that you're doing, instead of kind of being dictated to about what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, how you're supposed to go about it. Um, so you literally went from having a boss to being your own boss, right?
Well, yeah. When I
Okay.
moved, ever since I've moved from South Carolina, I've kind of like been my own boss type of thing. And in the venture where we had the business, I ran everything, so I didn't really have a boss with that either. So I've
Gotcha.
kind of been maintaining this autonomy, but
Good. Are
yeah.
you do you still find that you're kind of still craving a benchmark to measure up to?
Mm, I don't think so.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah, no, I think I'm good. It's just finding passion in what I'm doing. Like how do I get there again?
How do you get there again? That's a better question. How do you get
Yeah.
there again? Hmm. Because I feel like if we're aiming for passion, then it's a different answer than aiming for paying the bills. It doesn't always have to be separate, and sometimes they do
Oh, right.
collide, but it
Yeah.
does feel like it's a different situation than trying to pay the bills. And that's why you have a teammate, which is awesome because your
Wow.
sweet pea is over there. Maybe he's able to take care of maybe like the making sure the mortgage or the rent is covered, and then your
Mhm.
passion can actually take care of like the insurance and the other smaller things that aren't so live or die essentially when it comes to your finances.
Yeah, you're definitely on point with that for sure. He's
Yeah.
been taking care of things, thank goodness.
Oh, lovely. Okay, so I feel like the things that's showing up for me on repeat for you is that you will find your passion um when we sorry, let me repackage this. The main feeling that I'm getting is understanding first and foremost that your passion isn't something that you have to go and hunt and find. So it's
Okay.
not at the end of the rainbow that you just have to get to the end of the rainbow to then bury the box of Lucky Charms kind of thing. Like that's finding our passion isn't that kind of thing that you go and find and hunt down. So finding your passion about either your work, your job, your career, your relationship, it's following your natural inclinations
Mhm.
about anything and everything that you're doing. So if you know that, remember you were talking to me a bit ago about maybe wanting to write or
Mhm.
wanting to get out of remind me if you're in reselling, but trying to
Right.
not so much get out of it, but kind of like move more into the metaphysical or spiritual field.
Oh,
And
totally, yeah.
right, so moving into those natural inclinations, giving yourself permission to lean into those natural inclinations, you will make yourself happy and find the things that inspire you at the same time. So if we're focusing on the material end of I gotta pay the bills, I gotta pay the bills, I gotta pay the bills, I gotta pay the bills. Well, if the numbers are being met by hubby's stuff, then let hubby cover it. If you're
Okay.
in this privileged space to be able to listen just to the whims of where your heart is leading you,
Mhm.
then following that is going to help. You will figure out how to monetize it later. You will figure out
Okay.
how it can pay the bills later because looking at it first off the surface, you may not see it right away. And if you don't see it right away, you might back up from it. And the whole point is to like, let's not worry about the dollar signs just yet. Lean into more of how you're feeling about it first. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Gotcha. Because that feels like it's more important for you to get out of the heady, it's got to meet the mortgage, it's got to pay the rent, it's got to keep the utilities
Mhm.
on, and lean more into I now have permission to do what my heart says I want to do. I have freedom and responsibility to follow my natural inclinations. That's okay for you to do.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard to give ourselves permission when we need either verification or validation to do that. Um, your hubby supports it, right?
Yeah, no, he totally supports it. I think I need to have further conversation with him
Yeah,
about it and as far as my responsibility with things, if I'm
yeah.
exploring other avenues. I
I mean,
may not.
just
Yeah.
yeah, just being transparent and open with him is the
Mhm.
big thing because it's like the more that you understand yourself, the closer you can also get with him. So it's
Oh,
when you're
yeah.
sharing those aspects of yourself with your partner, you guys have better relationships and better communication. So it's all
Mhm.
wonderful stuff when you do it. So yeah, definitely. Is that a conversation that you guys could have when he comes home this afternoon?
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
And so what is it that you're thinking about doing? Like if you had your ideal universe and you could start something in the next couple days, what would it be?
Gosh, it definitely have felt guided to write for a long time, and I feel like there's so many books out there, and that's where the questioning myself will creep in because there are so many self-help books out there. There are so
Uh-huh.
many stories out there. Like, what's going to make mine unique? And but I don't like my story is I definitely think my story, I haven't heard many stories like mine. So I think, and probably everybody feels that about their life, but
And possibly, but the cool thing
yeah.
about that is that you have a unique lived experience based on your parents, your,
Mhm.
choices in life, the area of the world that you were birthed into, and so forth and so on. So no one's going to be able to replicate your story the way that you can. No
Yeah.
one can spill it out exactly the way that you will be able to. So you will be able to pour it onto the page in a unique and wonderfully suited way that's going to hit that person who's reading it in that epic kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
like I keep wanting to do like just it comes together.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
the whole point is not even so much worrying about, because if you literally look at the self-help market and look at where your book lands in the market, it will overwhelm you and
Mhm.
you will basically not want to start.
Yeah.
So not doing that to yourself in advance and allowing your work to manifest in the way it's going to, in the best way
Mhm.
that it can, would be a better starting point than trying to compare your work to others. Because
Right.
you'll trust me, when you're like 3 or 4 or 5 years in, you'll compare it enough, it'll be fine. But when you're starting, do you. Do the best work that
Mhm.
you can, do the best connections that you can, figure out every mode you possibly can to get your story heard, get your story out there, get the
Yeah.
literal aspects of your story, not so much published, but produced or into the ethos, whatever you want to do. Because the thing that keeps showing up in my mind is like using Twitter to give like the lines, just the lines of your story,
Okay.
because it's a nice way to build community and also
Mhm.
get immediate proofreading done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like live market testing. So you can
Mhm.
use Twitter to put that little snippet out, see how it's responded to, see how it resonates. You can edit right there because it lands, or oh my gosh, that segment was misunderstood. Maybe I can edit it by
Okay.
using these words. So it kind of would help you edit your work on the fly. But you want to write. I know that you just said that you're not trying to measure yourself up against anything, but when it comes to writing, are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Well, who is it or what is it that you're trying to measure up to?
I think I'm always in when it comes to my work, or I don't know. I guess with writing specifically, I'm not educated in writing. I mean, I didn't go to school to learn how to be a writer or anything like that. And so I just feel that where my boyfriend, he's more of a writer. Like I feel like I need to do the healing part of it, like writing the outline of the book
Yeah.
perhaps, and have him do the writing of the book. Like
Okay.
perhaps like he could be do the finishing touches. I could give him maybe the bones, and he can
Okay.
dress it up prettier than I
Oh,
could.
he puts the gloss on.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My apologies. I, for some reason, thought he was hubby. So I've been calling him hubby the whole time.
It should be. I mean, really, I feel like we're married. I mean, yeah, yeah.
Groovy. Um, hmm. So not having the education, and you came from a nursing background, right? Or healthcare?
Healthcare.
Healthcare. So that makes sense to me. Like when you come from a background that's very credentials based, very
Mhm.
education based, you have to have gone through the schooling, the education to do the thing in which everybody else is doing. I'm
Yeah.
not surprised that you're also putting that lens on this effort.
Mhm.
But to me, you could do one of two things. You could either get yourself educated or just stop putting so much weight on yourself regarding it. So
Yeah.
it's like, if you want to go through the whole spiel of being educated in writing, that's cool. I love school. I love knowledge. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Also, you know how many people write anyway,
Yeah.
regardless of education or knowledge or background in that regard. So it's like, if you are able to kind of not so much lower your expectations, but just have some kindness to yourself and where you're at in your process.
No, you're totally right, 'cause that's something I'm constantly in the healing process from.
No.
Yeah, my dad, he was very hard on me, and, even when I got straight A's in school, like it was never, oh, good job. You can
Yeah.
do better somehow, do more extracurricular activities. It was never
Mhm.
enough. And so I carry that with me. And it's something that I'm getting better with, but I do have to be reminded, like in situations like this, to
Yeah.
be kinder and to lower those expectations. Because when
Because
I,
you still hear his voice in the back of your
oh,
head telling you can do better, you can do more, you can give more, you can do more, you can all that. But that's like the never-ending hamster wheel,
yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So,
And
what
the
can I do to
education
help you
thing
stick a spoke in that
too.
hamster wheel?
Yeah, I need to.
Right? Oh my goodness. So let's actually unpack that a little bit. So now that we've kind of like narrowed that aspect down to kind of you have this repeat story that you're telling yourself, what can we do to kind of heal that or help that along? Because your team is like team you in regards to you doing this project. Everybody's like on board. And I think I
Okay.
remember even talking to you about this because it's a familiar feeling to me where everybody is like standing up to kind of help
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do the work, whatever the work
Mhm.
is. So it's just like if you have all this support, the only person that's standing in your way is you. The only
Mm,
voice that's actually in your head is yours. Yes, you heard it first from these people that were in your past. And I'm sorry that you went through that kind of situation. But at this point, he's not there anymore. He's not literally
yeah.
whispering in your ear. So this is just you. This is the stuff that you get to contend with. So have you started writing or doing any of the outline or any of that stuff yet?
Um, my boyfriend and I have actually, we did start. He's been taking notes and kind of interviewing me, and yeah, yeah. No, he's super excited, and
Good.
yeah.
So
So
you
it's
started.
like a nice project for him too to kind of help me in this process, and to have that support has been. I mean, he's great. Like I truly feel blessed and lucky. I mean, it's definitely not a coincidence that I met this man. I feel like I've spent lifetimes with him before. It's
Aw! Yay!
like he's my little earth angel. But so yeah,
Lovely.
it's been but you're so right about me being the person in the way, because the doubts will creep in, and then it's
Mhm.
like, well, what is the main one? Gosh, it just was in my head, and then it just popped out of my head. I'll think of it
No
later.
worries. They'll come back. It always does. But it's all good. So we get out of the sun. There we go. Um, because I want to kind of like, what can we do to kind of help you massage that? Because we can't turn your brain off as much as we'd like to, right?
I would love to, yeah.
So what can we do to start doing that? Because the first thing I want to do is like give you affirmations and things to kind of repeat to yourself. Like anytime you start hearing that self doubt or that voice creep in, just
Yeah,
having like a little go to phrase of giving yourself permission to do exactly what you want to do. And maybe even literally writing it out. Like, I give myself permission to write my story authentically. Full stop.
okay.
It's not emotional. It's not judgmental. It's just full stop. That's the sentence kind of thing. Um,
Right.
what else do we need to tap on there? Self doubt. Because part of your healing this is going to be through the act of doing it. So doing
Yeah.
it anyway, feeling how you feel about it and doing it anyway,
Mhm.
getting a little bit scared, nervous, and producing it anyway, not wanting to get dressed and talk about it or be videotaped or whatever it's going to be and doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Also, remember, like, even doing it anyway, it's not against your will. So if you're
Mhm.
kind of like firm that, this thing doesn't feel right, this part of it doesn't feel right, understand that you still have full control over it. So I
Yeah.
know that it's a subtlety between doing stuff against your will, doing it anyway, and feeling like manipulated or controlled. But
Mhm.
so long as it's still you're in control of it, you just have little butterflies about it, then run right in, right? Run
Okay.
full in, do it anyway, and let yourself dive right on in. But if you start to feel like you're losing not responsibility, you're losing authority surrounding it,
Okay.
that would be a good distinction between like, okay, we're going to back up, we're going to do this differently, or we're going to
Mhm.
attack it a different way. But still, it's like I'm circling back. The feeling I was getting was circling back to the phrase that you talked about hmm, what was it? You're mentioning Sorry, my brain is like did a spin cycle for a quick second, but you were mentioning how it was like thinking about the book itself and how many books have stories like mine, how many stories of mine have already been written. And circling back, my recurring kind of thing is like, no one's written it the way that you have, but you haven't written it. So no one's going to do it exactly the way you do it. No one's written that yet. So until you do, you don't get to say that one. Until you write it, no one can do it the way that you have. Now, after you've written it, yeah, you can use that as your excuse. But until then,
this is true.
Until then, is there anything else in there that I can dig into for you?
Yeah, because I think the other thing that deters me is I feel like I need to be somewhere else before I can start the book. Like I need to be successful in something before I can start writing. Yeah, it's like these stupid thoughts in my head.
Okay, but you're at least being honest with yourself as to what these thoughts are. So once you've like identified them, at least you can then start massaging them and doing something different with them. So let me make sure that I heard you correctly. You have this repeat belief, that's a repeat thought in your head, that you're not able to write this book until you're past this phase in your life where you needed this book.
Yeah, like I mean, not that that ever happens, but until I've completely healed or healed more things, or certain things, or start actually helping others heal, which I think a part of the book, that's the whole function of the book, really, because I do want it to help other people who have been in my situation or grew up the way I did or had the same problems I did, and for them to see that, okay, they're there and they can overcome this too. So
absolutely. So in that regard, the cool thing is just because you're breathing, you're going to have something to share. You're going to have a little bit of give back that somebody can listen to and witness and learn from. So you don't have to be 100% healed to then be a healer. Now, I do suggest, for instance, that you're not trying to help somebody who is more damaged than you. Like who's like not even more damage. Hold on, that's not the proper phrasing I would give to that. Okay, say for instance you're a nurse. You can assist with the placement of the bones or making sure blood loss is not too far gone and getting them to get help, right? You're not going to go and perform surgery. Like that's not your role. You can get them to surgery, but you're not going to do the surgery. And I feel like you're going to be definitely that person that people can come to say, hey, I'm having some nigglies, I'm having some things. Can you look at that and give me your opinion? Or can you share with me your perspective? And it's that pre-surgery space. It's like, oh, understood. You know what? You need some ibuprofen, some antibiotics. Go talk to this person. You'll be okay. And you can also look at them and understand this is bigger than me. This is more than what I can handle. And so you're going to be able to have your resources of who you can send them to so that you're still able to help them, even if you're not at that level in which they need. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Sometimes I feel like I'm that connection person, especially in Maryland. Like, I was always like connecting people together.
It's necessary and it's needed, and people need to know what their resources or their options are. So again, no one's going to be able to do it quite like you can, and not trying to measure up to anybody but yourself will help you stay there, because so often we try to measure ourselves up to Tony Robbins or Mel Robbins, for instance, or Brene Brown, or, give it a million other names. We try to measure our year 1 up to their year 20, and we're always going to fall short. We're always going to fall short. So if you can measure your year 1 against your month 6, that's usually a better way to go about it. And when you hit 3 years, measure yourself up against your year 2, because if you stay in your own lane, you're not going to be so easily rattled. You're not going to be so easily manipulated or influenced by other people's stuff, because there's always going to be somebody better than you. Just you can go ahead and lean into that right now. And there's always going to be somebody that's worse than you. So your big thing, though, is going to end up being you're still going to have that secret sauce that makes sense for that particular person that's attracted to your work.
Okay.
So rest and trust that. It's okay to trust that. Makes
Right.
sense?
Yeah, totally.
Groovy. What else can I dig into for you? So we have about another 5 minutes that I can dig in.
Well, this is something that's, well, actually, okay, so this might be quick. There is this
Whatever you
song.
want, honey. Whatever you
Yeah,
want. It's all about you.
I have this, and this sounds so crazy, but for a few months now, every day that's the theme song from like the Roy Rogers show back in the 1950s
Okay.
keeps like it's in my head. It's called Happy Trails to You.
Ah.
Until we meet again. And that phrase, like happy trails to you until we meet again, is constantly going through my head. And I'm like, is that like coming from a spirit guide or something, or one of my past loved ones? Because it's incessant. Like it's at least every day.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, happy trails. Let's see what we can hop in. The first feeling that I got for you regarding that was more ancestral, like it's a. I don't know your genealogy, but the first kind
Yeah.
of language that was showing up was like either your grandmother or grandmother influences, and
Yeah.
it's just like more of that. It's a distraction, is the feeling that I'm getting with it. So when you are in your hamster wheel,
Uh-huh.
somebody is dropping in a little tidbit for you to just distract you and just to annoy you and derail you
Oh,
for a quick second. And
nice.
I
Okay.
I feel like it's a really sweet gesture. I'm just trying to see who it. Do you have a grandmother that's already transitioned?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Virginia.
Virginia.
I think it's either Virginia or my Aunt Debbie.
No, it's two different people. Debbie feels like cheeks. Virginia smells like. Excuse me.
Oh,
Virginia feels differently. So I'm trying to see
okay.
if I can pull her in just a little bit. You know, the first thing that I'm hearing from her, from Virginia specifically, is talking about how smart you are. So it's
Oh,
that's like that's the first word she gave me was smart,
that,
and
yeah.
that's adorable. Hold on, let me see if there's anything else in here that she wants to give.
Sounds
She's
like something she'd say.
aw, she's giving me something in regards to you. She's bringing up self-doubt, but she's not even. It's not so much doubt, but questions. It's self-questions, is the way that she's putting it. So it's the persistent questions.
Okay.
Was this your dad's mom?
Actually, it's my, I mean, it could, no, Virginia was my mom's mom, but my dad's mom passed too.
Okay, because simultaneously I was getting a little bit nudge of kind of the apology for him and his behavior and kind of taking responsibility for like that. It was like when someone in the distance is saying, yeah, that was my fault kind of thing. That
Yeah.
was the feeling that I just got there.
Yeah. No, she knew too, so that
Okay,
could very well be her.
gotcha. What else is in here? Because even she feels, or Virginia, the one I'm referencing, she feels like empowered and a sense of pride by the work that you're doing. So like again,
Um,
she's kind of giving me the ladies are the support and the backbone through the project. So it's just like all the people that are hanging out with you, wanting you to
oh,
do basically what's in your best interest anyway. And it helps. Anything that helps, everyone kind of stands up and gets all excited and helpful for.
nice.
What else is in there? If you like, she's giving me just more pride, more confirmation that you don't have to question if this is the right project or if this is the right thing to do, because basically, of course, it is. You wouldn't have had the inspiration to do it otherwise. So it's
Okay.
like by the fact that it was kind of like divinely placed in your mind,
Yeah.
that's your confirmation in itself that it was that perfect thing for you to do. What else, Miss
Oh,
Virginia?
that's awesome.
Did she know you when you were little? Like y'all spent time together when you were little?
Tons of time. Yeah. She was more or less like my mom.
Aww.
Yeah, between her and my Aunt Debbie, they really raised me, I would say. Even though physically I was with my parents,
Yeah. They
yeah,
were the other parents.
they
Gotcha.
were, yeah.
Because she gave me a stuffed animal for you, and then the more that I focused on the stuffed animal, it turned into like a loppier bunny, kind of like a floppy stuffed animal bunny. Is
Uh-huh.
that something that you had?
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. Oh my gosh.
When I get stuffed animals from our loved ones, to me, it's like them trying to give like encouragement and support, and just kind of reminding you that they're always available for that encouragement and support. So just because they're like, on that side of the veil doesn't mean that they're not available to you. So it's just
Okay.
remembering that they're always, always, always around. Um,
Mhm.
the feeling that she was giving me is like, it might actually be worth it for you to get a little stuffed rabbit, just to kind of like pull you in to when you need
Oh,
grandma's support, to like grab your stuffed rabbit and go ahead and, tuck it under your arm and just sit there and be all anxiety ridden or
I
whatever it is.
actually have a couple stuffed rabbits here in the house. They're not mine. They're my boyfriend's daughter, Sophia's.
Aw.
So yeah, I can but Sophia's always like having me hold them and take care of them. So I
Aw, see, that's what you
can
need to
adopt one
do.
of those.
You need to grab a rabbit. You need to grab a rabbit. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that she wants to share. Do you have anything of hers, like jewelry wise or clothing wise? Because she's kind of giving me the feels of like, it's that
I
same
have
feeling
a
like
cross. That
a
was hers.
cross. Okay.
Mhm.
I wonder if that's why I was grabbing for mine. But so something that she's bringing up is like when you get to that phase in the book, and I guess you'll know what that phase is, you might want to wear the cross just so that you feel like you're a little bit more connected to her regularly,
Aw.
just for that added support. It's just an extra line, because it's not that the cross is magic. We're not saying that, but it's
Yeah.
more of like, what? Sometimes it's just that feeling of I'm wearing grandma's thing. It makes me feel better. I'm
Mhm.
wearing grandma's thing when you get to that part of the book. So whatever that is that you're writing or going through or talking about. She's also bringing up again something that showed up in this session a moment ago. You said that he was interviewing you. Your boyfriend was interviewing you. Are you're recording these? Are you like videoly recording these?
No, he's just taking notes and
Okay.
yeah.
Do video and use that as part of the collateral for this book.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it showed up for a minute previously, and she's bringing it up
Mhm.
again. So it's something that she thinks would be really, really useful, either efficiency wise or maybe.
It's so funny because he wanted to do that. That was
Oh,
his recommendation, and I was like, "No, no, no, writing is therapeutic. We have to write."
well, yeah, but in addition, there's these other suggestions that are showing up, and I think recording it just there's something extra that's going to
Mhm.
show up through the recording process. I
Okay.
mean, if anything, it'll help you maybe even build community around that comment, like that stuff, if you want to put it out, if you want to produce it.
No,
Um,
totally, yeah.
so it's just something extra and added and beneficial. Uh, let's see. So I feel like you're slightly underestimating sometimes how valuable this work could be. And
Okay,
we kind of want to think small and not be disappointed in case it goes nowhere.
right.
Understood. But it is okay to understand that this is going to be bigger than you think it's going to be. So
Oh,
wherever that is, like just understand, yeah, more. That's okay too.
definitely. No, that would be a dream come true for me,
Yeah.
like, totally. And I've
Anything
had
else?
other people tell me, an astrologer mainly,
Oh,
he does evolutionary astrology,
nice.
and yeah, and he told me, about, my work with the earth in the past, and I use the
Yeah.
earth to heal now, like, I use crystals and I garden, and I'm always, like I feel best when I'm, like, gardening is just amazing for me, and it's been so therapeutic in my path and using herbs and things of that nature, and he said that's part of my contribution to other people is to show them what I used and how I use Mother Earth
There
to
we
heal
go.
my own demons, and,
There we go.
so, yeah, this is more confirmation for me. It's
Good. Because
awesome.
there's also the ancestral component to that too. Is like wherever you are, you're on the same ground. Maybe not literally, but in some way, shape, and form. that your ancestors also walked on, either it's
Yeah.
ancestral humans or ancestral people, or maybe like, you know, visiting your grandmother's garden, scooping up some dirt and pouring it into your garden in one way or the other. That's like ancestral work that you're doing. So that's epic and awesome
That's
stuff
cool.
there. Is there anything else on either your Virginia, your book, your finances, your career that I can dig into for you?
No, I think we're good. We're good. No, I'm really happy.
Cool.
Thank you.
I'm glad to hear it. I just want to see if there's anything else that I need to know in advance before I just kind of wrap it up for you. Because I usually allow like our guides, our guardians, our ancestors to kind of give that final word. As I'm sorry that I'm like all burning out and whatnot. So let's try it this way. Better. Maybe I can sit in the back. Yeah, I'll just sit
There
back
you
here.
go.
All right. Is there any last words from guides, guardians, or ancestors? Anything that you want or need to know? You mentioned that your partner has a little girl.
Yes. Who I absolutely adore.
I love how much she loves you. Like that came in. And I feel like you being like a mom for her or another support to her is wildly beneficial. And you guys plan that. Like that was part of the, you know, upstairs arrangement that you two work with each other, is that no, she's not going to biologically come to you, but that you two are going to be working together in a alternative format and still be her daughter essentially, or still
she feels like my own. I
Yeah.
mean, the feeling I have for her, I love, like I would do anything for this child and his son too, but I think her and I have this really special
right
bond.
Oh, there we go. No, okay, never mind. Okay,
That looks a lot better though. Well, you were out of the light. There you go.
Okay, we're gonna fix this. There we go. Maybe a little bit better. We'll figure it out. Okay. Oh, I can almost see now. Let's see. I want to make sure your grandmother likes her too.
Oh.
Do you happen to know if your grandmother had any children that passed?
Yes.
I think she's a come through. Like your grandmother is, or at least the way that she's describing it is like one of her grandma's little kids showed up in this one.
Oh my gosh.
What else do you want me to know about that? Oh, so she's just basically getting the opportunity to live the life that she didn't get a chance to previously.
Oh.
The feeling that I'm getting, like following up with that, is that she likes it better now anyway. So it's okay. So it's fine. It's different. It's a little bit more advanced. Because, okay, so this, I don't know if it sounds macabre to say it like this, but it totally feels like that soul kind of hopped in for a second to honor and know, it's like, I don't think I like this as much as I thought I did. I think I will arrange for another situation, you know, or what have you.
Yeah.
Kind of bounces out. But no, she does feel like she's like hopped in or hopped out for a second and then hopped in through your daughter, or through your boyfriend's daughter. Let's see. Anything else? I love how much of a teammate he is for you. Like he's repping Team You all day.
Yeah, like
I dig that.
Yeah, he's my rock.
Yeah, grandma just gives me more feels of kind of being like her friend, of being around and being a support for her as well, the little one.
Oh,
is there anything in? Who is it that want? Do you have a dog, or is she wanting a dog?
Oh my gosh, Sophia and I are on Sam all the time because we want a freaking puppy, like.
Because it's like she feels like like I don't know if it's Humane Society or whatever method that you need to.
Get the damn dog.
Get the damn dog. Get the damn dog. What else is in there? No, honey, like everything feels good, feels awesome. Like I know that you have questions about your path. They're more of the hamster wheel kind of questions, but you're actually doing everything as well as you possibly can with all of the information that you have. So there's nothing more that you need to do. You're already winning. You're already doing like an epic job. So it's okay to be okay. It's okay to know that you're doing all right. And it's okay. It's also okay to not be okay. So you're doing well, hun. You're doing well.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm getting anything else. So yeah, we'll wrap it up with that one. So awesome.
Oh, that was
Well,
amazing. Thank you so much.
you're very welcome. Well, thank you so much for letting me read for you. I am going to pull you off the camera for a minute and kind of visit with comments and see if I can fix this whitewashing I got going on my
Girl, the light just wants to shine on you, so just let it be.
darling, just glow away, glow away. Alrighty, thank you so much. Alrighty. See, now you guys can see like my altar space and the work that I was doing the other day. But eventually we'll figure out how to navigate having a camera that likes to be all wonkadoo. But it's all good. We'll get it. Oh my goodness. Where'd my Sandrine come? So I'm just taking a quick look through comments, you guys. I see Miss Pamela Rose came in. It looks like I came in. I wonder how that happened and said hello. I wonder if my wife was trying to help out, or if that's like a wonky profile of mine. So we might have to go back and do some searching. But that's all good. That is all good. Hey, Miss Sandrine, I hope everything is going well. I hope we've kicked out a few people if needed to. Alrighty, you guys, if you're ever interested in getting work done with me privately, it is totally possible to do so by going to the website directly. Where is it? There we go. That is my website, avtarotreading.com. And you can schedule a private one-on-one session with me and all the fun. Oh, it's Lori. Lori is also a moderator in our session, and she's coming through as me this time. So she got me nervous for a quick second, but it's all good. She's got it. Miss Nikiva, hey girl, hey. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad to see you ladies. So just in case you're new, what we're doing is we're doing demonstration readings for Miss Kendra and Miss Mindy, excuse me. They're two ladies that volunteered to have a 30-minute session done with me live, so that you guys can just kind of see and understand and know what it's like to get a session with me when the sun is burning off our retinas. So, but all in all, that's the whole goal, is to kind of have that experience with everybody. Miss Nikiva's gotten work with me done before, so I'm sure that she can speak to what it's like to have a session with me. So if you ever have questions, we can always ask her. Pull her on and ask her. But all right, Miss Kendra, are you prepared? Are you ready? Yeah, she's nodding her head. Sweet. Well, hey, Sweet Pea, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm blind from all this light. Alrighty, hun bunch. Well, go ahead. Talk to me about your situation. What's going on that I can help you out with?
Life. So here lately, yeah. Here lately, I have been in a funk.
Oh, I don't like funks.
Yeah, no, me either. But I've been doing a lot of different types of things.
Okay.
Work. So I've been doing some healing, some self-healing, some inner work, inner child work, doing some deep diving into things that need to be addressed. And that in itself is emotional.
Yeah.
and then life decided it wanted to lay its stuff on me while I was at it. So I've had, I don't have any kids, but I have dogs. One of my dogs earlier this year.
Your audio just dropped out, hun. Not yet.
Why
there you go.
Okay, so I had one of my dogs passed away last year. Then I had a uncle pass away not too far behind my puppy. And my, I guess, love life or lack thereof, that's trash too. And so it's a lot going on. So usually I'm one of those people that, something's going on, it's okay. I can kind of fare through it.
Yeah.
With all of this going on, and then I'm doing my own work as far as growth. This is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It'd be like, it's a lot. It'd be like, at this point, it'd be like, my friends, I tell them, I was like, I just want to be sit in the corner. I was like, I don't want anybody to talk to me. I just want to sit right here. Maybe, I don't know. But my questions are more towards my love life.
All right.
Because I either, as my dad would tell me, I got a bad picker.
Okay.
That's what he would say. He says I have a bad picker, meaning who I choose to involve myself with. Either something, it's either me or them. And it's got to be I'm the common denominator, so I'm going to assume that it's me.
Correct.
And what I'm doing wrong and what's going on. The most recent person I dated, we didn't date too long, but it's been almost a year now that we stopped dating, and I still feel some type of way. And I normally wouldn't still feel some type of way. Usually I'm like, oh, okay. But I will say during this personal time, I'm not allowing myself to date, because that to me is part of my problem. So I'm not allowing myself to attach or date, because there are certain things that I need to address so that when I do date again, I can address it head on and not later in the situation. But
No,
like
that's
in the forefront.
responsible.
Yeah, this is my first time being responsible with that. So.
Well, I'm glad that you're doing so. Thank you. I'm glad you're responsible. So what's the question I can dig into for you there? Because I know that you mentioned that you have this person.
Yeah,
And
why do I still feel some type of way, and what is going on with that?
okay. Gotcha. Well, I love how you put that. I love that term, some type of way. I'm like we don't know how we're feeling, but I love the expression though. So
He's
it's
like, I
kind of
feel some type of way. Like, okay, so here's the gist. Like tonight, I will see that person. So I am of family just like you. So I date women. Tonight
oh
I will
god.
see. Yes. So tonight I will see that person because that person has somehow embedded herself into my friendship group. And, and now she won't. And now she won't go away. So now I still have to see her, occasionally, and so that whenever I see my anxiety goes through the roof, like it'll be like, what's gonna happen? And I don't want to feel like that. I want to know why I feel like that, because usually I would be somewhere to shrug my shoulders and keep moving.
Huh. What was it that you thought you were fixing by dating this person?
I really didn't think I was fixing anything. I was trying not to find myself in a situation. So prior to dating her, I had just come out of a 6-year relationship. So like in my mind, it was like, no, you don't need to date. And we just so happened to be introduced to one another, and one thing led to another. And she used to tell me, you have trust issues. And I would be like, yes. So why are you trying to bring my guard down if it wasn't going to go anywhere? So things like that, like, I don't know. I still feel some type of way, I think.
The feelings that I'm getting surrounding it, it's just like, it reminds me of those situations where you didn't want to be wrong. You didn't want to have proof that you still have shit to do. You still have work to do. You still have things to fix. And so I would love for it to be a little bit more like impactful and profound. Like maybe you two are like energetically connected in some way, shape, or form, but it feels more like you thought you had it right this time, and then the dissolving of it confirms that you didn't. And so there's this follow-up feeling that's just like you want to fix the broken thing. You wanted to do a redo, or thought it was a redo, so that the old mistakes have proof that they've been healed. Does that distinction make sense?
Kind of.
Gotcha. What else is in there? So what this okay, so is she in your friend group deliberately, like because she's focused on you, or because you guys just have the same circle of friends and you're around each other?
They were my friends first. I sound like a 5-year-old when I say that. No, they were mine first. So she is a coworker of one of my best friends, and a couple years ago, I had a birthday.
Okay.
My coworker invited her. That's where we spun off. My coworker, she's close to my best friend, who's her coworker, but she wasn't necessarily close to the group. We didn't know who she was, and this coworker. These are friends of mine from high school. So I'm in my 30s. So this is 20 years worth of friendship. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know she existed.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You know, friends could have other friends. But when we started dating, she then introduced herself into the group. And she would say things like, oh, I like your friendship. I like the way you guys hang. How you feel about one another. Just different things like that. That would make me go, huh, are you can't have my friends, go find your own. Like, wait a minute, like you can have my friends, but now you're encroaching on my my time. So like even when we stopped talking, I didn't get to talk to my friends about it because now you're involved, and so I'm not going to dish out dirt to you or about you to them because it's not nice. And so it's almost like a damned if I do, damned if I don't. And so it's like even in the healing process, how can I heal when I'm still looking at you?
You've given her a lot of power.
So I've heard.
It's like, so they tell me. That's funny. What, you guys have such this interesting dynamic, because in all reality, hun, you could bow out. You could. I know you don't want to because you're your friends and don't want you to, but do you have to be in the same room with this person if they have this kind of effect on you?
Tonight, unfortunately, so yes. We're not often in the same room together. So it's not like every function. But probably in the last 6 months, maybe 3 times have we been in the same room together.
Have y'all tried to talk since then?
Talk.
Okay.
So I try to
Okay.
express, how do I put this? Like, she said what she had to say at the end of it, and that was it. And then we went non-speaking for a very long time.
Okay.
And then she started watching me, like through my stories. Like I could see she's watching me. Not so much anymore after I called her out on it. Like, is there something you need? Because this is creepy. You're watching me. But me, I've tried to explain myself or vocalize my vocal cords. Like, hey, like you got to say what you had to say, but I should be able to say what I have to say, regardless of if it's not changing anything, regardless of if it, you feel the way you feel. I still have a voice. I still should be heard because I still was dragged into this. Um, and in order for us to even begin to build a friendship, I feel like this needs to be addressed. I can't build anything, friendship, relationship, nothing on broken foundation.
Why do you need
She,
to?
what, build a friendship?
Yeah.
We don't need to or have to, but in order for, if we were ever going to, this has to be addressed. She's very, my way is the right way. That's it. And so, okay. So I'm more of a, I'm not going to argue with you. Okay. So I've been very like, we'll walk into the room, hey, and I'll speak to everybody. But like going out of my way to have a one-on-one conversation, no, I'm not going to do that. I can be an adult, I can speak to you, but I'm not going to go out my way to have a conversation with somebody who I feel like doesn't necessarily want to hear what I got to say.
Okay. So everything that you guys actually sound a little bit uniquely perfect for each other, because it's like the same energy that she's giving you, you're giving her. So you guys are stuck in a feedback loop with each other. So one of you has to decide to get off the bandwagon and not engage, and to not, it's not even about being petty, but it's like being grown. It's being able to walk into the room and that person doesn't have the ability to manipulate or control you because you've given her the ability to do so. So if you walk in the room and converse with each other, you do have it within you to not be triggered by her, not allow her to get under.
Triggering me. Yeah, like I'm trying to, like tonight I'm going to be a very big girl and I'm going to speak. It's Galentine's Day, so we're going out as like a group of girls. It's Galentine's Day dinner tonight, and
Lovely.
I've gotten cute little gifts or whatever that I'm giving out to the girls, including her, because the petty side of me said, "Don't bring her anything."
Don't do that, you know.
That's what the petty side said. Just stand there and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You told me never to give you anything again, so I'm going to follow your wishes." But to be more vocal, to work on my throat chakra, because that's what I've been told. I've done some chakra lining, and they said my throat and some other ones are closed. Not my third eye though. She was like, "Oh no, your third eye." She was like, "No, your third eye is open." She was like, "But you're hard headed. You just don't listen." I was like, "Oh, that's I believe it. I believe
Okay. Got it. 'Cause
it."
literally, you guys just remind me of young ladies that are in conflict. Like, this is like a phase of your life where this is how we handle these kind of situations. And as you get older, you will find that you just don't have time for it. You don't have time to engage it. You don't have time to care if she's watching you, because, like, fine, watch me. I'm doing something awesome. Learn something. It's fine. Go on. Go about your merry way. You'll be less triggered by the stuff that she's doing because she's not even on your radar. So I guess for me, why are you still paying attention to her?
Well, I pay attention to everything. That's the
Why
bad part.
not everything? Why are you paying attention to her?
Well, no. So that was now I'm not so much anymore because she
Okay.
doesn't. After I called her out, she
Okay.
stopped because it was a
Sweet.
this is creepy. Can I because at first it was like, okay, maybe she was just like trying to check up, but then I noticed like anything I posted,
Uh-huh.
she's seen all of it. Like I could post at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm a flight attendant and she's still seen it. And I'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, so now you're watching like intently. Like this isn't I clicked on your story.
But look, you're watching her watch you.
Well, that's when I figured it out. I needed to know why, because that curiosity goes, "What do you want?" It'd be like, because I don't know. I'm one of those people that I get curious about stuff. Maybe that's my problem. I get too curious. I'd be like, "Well, what do you want? Why are you watching me? What is it that you need?"
When you're
Mm,
looking for something, you will find it. Whatever it is. When you are looking for something, you will find it.
Well, I gotta quit looking then, because I don't know
Yes.
what I'm finding.
That's the hardship, though, because it takes both of you to engage in this behavior and to have this cause and effect. So if
I
one of
don't
you
think I
decide,
have this same effect. I think it's the other way around. I think she has more of an effect on me than I necessarily have on her. And I'm like my main question is why emotionally? Is it because I'm emotionally drained in this situation that I'm still stuck on this one, like the cup is empty, or is it because there's some type of lesson here that I clearly keep missing, that I'm supposed to be learning on the situation so that I can move on? Because at this point, I'm tired,
yeah,
like super tired of it.
the lesson that I get on repeat for you regarding the situation is the one that you're having a hard time seeing or hearing, which is that you do have the ability to let go. And maybe it's just that we don't know how to, or what that looks like, or what that demonstration of letting go is. And so part of that might be this is your experience of what it's like not to, is the experience that you're having. So when you do have, there's rituals you can do. If you're a very ritual person, you can do cord cutting. That's something that you can definitely do. You can, if you have somebody that practices magic with you, you can do some kind of partitioning, kind of like boundaries between the two of you, so that it's less of a thing, either psychically, emotionally, spiritually, between the two of you. I would love for you, like, the cord cutting seems to be one that's really, really useful, because it also has you pulling back the energy that you've devoted to them and cuts off the energy that they've devoted to you. So it's that method of kind of partitioning the two of you away from each other. Have you ever, like, done any of that kind of work before?
Yeah, for a soul tie. I had a soul tie years ago. Ooh, this is
Aw.
like 8, 9 years ago. I had a soul tie. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Uh-uh.
Gotcha.
You seen the movie Acrimony?
No, I've not.
With you? Oh, don't. It's
Okay.
Tyler Perry. No, you should. It's a good movie. Tyler
Okay.
Perry Acrimony. With Taraji in it. It basically shows a woman who gave some years, and then he took those years and married somebody else, and she was
Mhm.
at her breaking point, and she fell over. Um, that relationship was kind of like Acrimony, except I didn't fall over, so I
Okay.
didn't try to attempt to assassinate anybody or anything like that. But
Good.
I got up and kind of left everything, like stone cold. You like quit a job, left an apartment fully furnished. I don't even know what was in it or didn't. Just took me, a bag, and my dog, and I was like, I gotta go home.
Yeah.
And by home, I went to my mom. And then is actually when I started diving into spirituality. And I guess a form of cord cutting. I had a candle and a picture and a name, and I burnt it, and then I buried it very, 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 very far away from the house.
Mm-hmm.
And that person and I, we've spoken, like that ex, we've spoken because of a mutual friend, but I would not allow that mutual friend to put us in the room together. They're like, "Can you come?" Mm-mm. Are they gonna be there? Nope. And they're like, "Well, like soul ties, they reconnect." I don't even have the time. I don't want to have to do that, just because I feel like I'm missing out. Like when my friends, I'm already not around because I'm a flight attendant. So the things that I can come around for, I feel like it's really juvenile for me to have to ask them to choose between who they're going to invite.
You're correct about that. You are correct about that. But the grown part of the conversation is more of what are you going to be willing to subject yourself to? Because that's the only part that you have responsibility over and that you have control over. So, like, understanding that your friends want to have you and them in the same room. Are you okay with that? Then if you're okay with that, then, do accordingly. If you're not okay with it, then it's your choice. And having choice and remembering that you have choice gives you the control back. It gives you the power back instead of just, she better act right. She better, be on her P's and Q's. It ain't about her. It's about how you respond to her. Does that distinction between the two make sense?
Yes.
Gotcha. Because I know that you don't necessarily want to do a cord cutting, but if it was effective for you the first time, and again, it's not so much to bunt them out of your life, but it's more to
cut off the emotional ties they have with me.
Exactly. So what's the fear about doing something like that?
I don't know. If she's supposed to come back.
If she will, she would. Like, you're not going to interrupt anything that's comically in place. Cosmically. There we go. You're not going to interrupt something that's cosmically in place if it's supposed to happen. I would love for us to be that magnificent and amazing, but I think there's a level there.
You're like, okay, so like, I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know.
Because I'm a firm believer in free will and choice. That is one thing I do believe. And that you don't necessarily have the ability to control other people's behavior, but you always have the ability to control how you respond. You can control how you express yourself outwardly. You have the ability to control your side of the street is kind of how I reference it.
Okay. We'll have to do that. I have another thing I have to set up on my altar. Because that brings me to another. Yeah, I have an altar. See, look, I have things like that. I just
good.
My altar is probably like, we've been begging you to put her name under this candle.
Hey, whatever works. That's the whole point. But the less time you give her, the less power it'll have over you. So it's just like we might need to insert a different habit, insert a different situation. Like if she comes up to mind, what can you replace it with? Can you go rub your dog's face or, do another little something that shows up for you that can replace that habit? So it's like these thoughts that happen over and over again are mostly habitual. So you might just need to interrupt that habit. If the ritual that you're describing does it, honey, go in, dig in and do. But what else can I dig in on there for you?
I have an interview coming up, so I need to figure out how it's going. So I'm currently a flight attendant for one company.
Okay.
Keep these companies anonymous. But okay. I'm going for another company, a legacy. We'll put it like that. So who I work for now isn't necessarily a legacy. They're a big company, but not necessarily a legacy. But I'm going for a legacy. I have the last interview next Friday. I'm excited and anxious. This will bring me home. So right now I'm not based home. Right now I'm based in Florida. So I have to travel to even go to work. This will bring me home where I don't have to travel to go to work. I want to know how that could go. What are
it? Because to me, it feels like it's in the bag. Like, why are we even, like, I want to be like, why are we even bringing it up, honey? Like, you already know you got it. Like,
a lot of people tell me that. They're like, the company that it is, I guess I can say the company that I'm going for, Delta.
What?
So a lot of people, when they see me in my uniform or they see me working, they like, you would look good in this color, and you seem like you'd be a Delta flight attendant. And I just kind of like cock my head to the side and be like, I'm
Honey,
not wearing those colors, but okay, thank you. Like,
dude, what I would suggest is just continue to feel that whole like nonchalant, of course I'm amazing, when it comes to like getting the shoe in, what feels like a shoe in. Like you feel like an excellent fit, especially right now. Are they suffering from the same labor shortages that everybody else is?
everybody is suffering from the same labor shortages.
Honey,
Like,
it's like you don't even, is the sun coming up tomorrow? That's how
yes.
real it feels like to me. It's just like, yeah, duh.
Like, yes, the sun is going to come up.
Exactly. I mean, barring some unforeseen circumstances, I'm pretty sure the sun is rising tomorrow. So to me, it feels as certain as that. And I don't always get like, I usually do on probabilities, right? When I'm if I have a scale from 0 to 100, 100 it's happening tomorrow, and 0 it's never happening in a million years. This feels very much like 94%, like 98, like dude, it's basically in the bag is what it feels like.
Okay.
So it feels really, really possible, strong, and easy. Like I'm not even worried about you getting it. I hope the next thing I hear from you is that you got the job. So it's not even a worry. Let's see. Is there anything else that I can dig into for you specifically?
Do my spirit guides have anything for me? What do they have to say to me? And will they show their faces? They can't show their faces. But letting me know they're around me more often than not. I feel like sometimes they kind of be like, it's all right. She'll figure it out, or she's gonna walk. Be like, cause someone. At this point in my life, I'd be like, I'd like a little hint every now and then. Just tap me on my shoulder.
Understood. There's like 4 different things I'm getting at the same time regarding that particular aspect, because there's this I feel like you're looking for them to talk to you in a specific sort of way. Like you have 4 lanes of, you can talk to me like this, you can talk to me like that, you can talk to me like this, you can talk to me like that, but we've forgotten that there's this whole other area of communication that's available to you. And it feels like you're just starting to kind of like peel those layers of what's available, what's possible, what's open to you. You're starting to crack that open. Because I feel like they talk to you all the time, especially through your emotions, especially through your feels. But I feel like you do it's like a back and forth battle between what you think you feel and what you think you should be feeling. Is there like a internal conflict between the two?
Yeah, sometimes I tell myself being an emotional person, it's a gift and a curse.
Well, it's only a curse if you doubt it. It's only
a curse. It's a
if,
gift in the sense that I'm glad that I feel my emotions.
Yeah.
But sometimes they show up at the wrong time. I'd be like, this is not the time. Why are we busting out in tears right now? Like I'm one of those like empathic person. So like a commercial makes me cry. Movies make me cry. Like, are you crying? Yes, I can't help it. I stopped trying to help it.
Good. And no one said that you shouldn't. So having empathy in that way means you're human and you have an excellent pulse on the emotional nervous system of what's around you. Those are great things. So those are okay. Just bring tissues.
Yeah, sometimes I tell myself, I guess, woman up. Like sometimes I be like, hey, this is like, it's okay. I got you. It's time to woman up now, because those tears aren't going to help you. So it's one of those internal battles. It'll be like, is this the time where we just like, okay, Kendra, you can let all your little emotions flow and cry yourself to sleep if you want to? Or is this one of those times you're like, no, not right now, later. We'll let you can do this, like, just not right here or not at this moment.
Understood. We have social standards and social contracts that we put in place that, especially like if you're in the workspace and you're going through something and, in front of your customer is not the best place to have your emotional snap and half moment. So I get it. I get it. But let's keep digging in there with your team. Are you doing ancestral work with them?
I talk to my ancestors a lot. Like when I do my meditation and stuff like that, I not only pray to God, but I talk to them too. I'd be like, "Hey guys, up there!"
Right.
I just recently gained one. Fortunately and unfortunately at the same time, another person of my family has passed away, and I'm like, "Hey, you guys, you want to sometimes I hear their voices, if that makes sense. So
Good.
I'll hear them talk to me the way they would talk to me on the ground.
Good.
My uncle just passed away, so he'll say certain things to me. I'll be like, I hear you. I heard you, Unc. I heard you. He's like, okay, just like, I heard you. I
Yeah.
got you. My great grandmother, who I passed away when I was really young, but sometimes I feel her touch. My dad's mother, things like that. I feel them around me sometimes. I I know that I just wish sometimes I'd be like, can one of y'all pop me in the back of my head or something? Just like and give me like one of those like pop and be like, no, you can't do that, not right now.
That's funny.
A lot of people go, well, why? I was like, because I'm in my mid-30s, so at this point, some of this stuff I really am tired of. I'm like, how did we get back here? I thought we learned this lesson. No, I didn't, did I?
You know what, honey? You don't have to judge yourself through it. Just honoring the fact, like, well, this is where it's at, and next time I'm going to do better. Or next time this example shows up, I will demonstrate better. I will do something differently next time. Oops, I fucked up. Okay, well, next time I'm committing, I'm going to do something different. Now that I have this example to go off of, now I have that example to go off of. And it's practice, hun. So it's you're going to slip and fall and bust your ass all the time, but it's practice, right? When you were walking, you slipped and fell and busted your butt all the time as a toddler, but you got back up. Do you walk now?
Yes.
You did it! Yay! We often want perfection. We often want to get it right the first time, but it's like you did you say you're in your 30s?
Mm-hmm.
Honey, you have at least a good, what, do the math, 70 more years of experience, of time, of messing up, of fixing problems, of getting better, of learning and doing more. So you don't have to have it all figured out right now. You don't have to eat every meal that you've ever going to have right now. You don't have to do it. You don't have to. The feeling that I was getting for you while we're talking about your ancestors is one of the elders on your grands. You said your grandmother was one that was transitioned for you.
Yes.
You said that was your father's side.
Yes.
Okay. Because I felt like she would be the perfect one to converse with regarding the situation with the lady. So it might be worth to talk to her because there's this Sorry, I was getting something for a quick second. Would she have judged your sexuality poorly back then?
Probably. Likely.
Likely. Understand that now it's not an issue. So you can talk to her openly, honestly, and receive honest feedback from her. You just have to just accept it. The whole thing that she's giving me is just you actually have to listen. The whole thing is you're asking for us to talk to you, but you're not listening. That's the thing. So it's like we can talk to you till we're blue in the face, but if you're not listening, it's like, what do you want then? We love you, honey, but you're not listening. So she's one in particular that feels like she'd be really, really useful because the feeling that I keep getting from her is when you kneel down to get eye level with a little kid. So that to me feels like her relationship to you regarding the situation is that she would come down to kind of talk to you one-on-one and you could spill your beans. You could speak honestly. You could get crazy. You could start having your emotions, your tears, your cries, whatever it's going to be for you. She's going to be the one that you're going to be able to honestly talk to and get that honest critique and feedback from as well. It's just you have to listen and believe the feelings that you're having about it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I feel like she talks to you through those emotions, especially because your volume on those are real turned up. So it's like when you have those feels, take that as your language. You don't have to take the pop to the back of the head as language. You can talk those feelings that you have. That feels like your barometer. You can take that as your communication with her.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Do you believe me?
Yeah, if I talk to I have some conversations with her, I probably can hear her voice talk about now, baby. Yeah, be like, uh-oh. It'll be like, see, but I'm bad. So yeah, I'm hard headed. So I
Who
gotta stop
told
being
wait,
so hard headed.
2 questions for you. Who told you you're bad? Who told you you're hard-headed?
My mom told me I was hard headed all the time. Um, Bad. I wouldn't necessarily bad in that way. Like I'm doing something wrong. more like I'm a curious person. And that would probably be all of the adults in my family growing up. I was very, very curious, very oh, what does this do? Oh, here she go. Here comes curiosity.
Good.
So I was like,
Curiosity is an amazing gift. Like, I'm
yeah,
glad that you have it. You being hard-headed, quote unquote, you don't have to be hard-headed anymore. You don't have to maintain the identity that I am hard-headed. You can replace those words with I'm learning. I'm learning something new. I'm learning it slowly, but I'm learning something new. I am open to new experiences. There's other language and other words that you can put together so that you start to unpack that hard-headedness so that maybe you actually will not actually be hard-headed anymore. Because it doesn't really serve you any good anymore to not receive the things that you're asking for because of a self-limiting belief structure that you have. Make sense?
yeah.
Gotcha. Groovy. Because I don't think you're actually that hard-headed. I think you might be a little bit stubborn, but you're not hard-headed. I don't think.
Yeah, we'll probably replace that. My mom was like, it depends on, yeah. Do you hear my mom when I was little? She was like, no, she's hard headed. I'd tell her, don't do it. And she would turn around and you'd be like, didn't I just say, don't do that?
Exactly. Because you guys experience through experiences. That's how you guys learn. You're not, people that can just be spoken to and learn that way. You get to have the experience and you learn that way. That's your true pulse on cause and effect. Because people like me, people like whoever else you listen to, people like your friends, you love them, you adore them, but it's just words. Your experience will tell you more. And so you have to go through stuff for you to actually understand it. It's not a bad thing. That's just how you roll. And so it's okay to be that kind of person. And anybody that tells you otherwise, tell them to come talk to me and I'll walk them all the way through it. Like, I will do that. I will do that. Oh my goodness. So let me make sure that there's nothing else if we need from your team. It circles back, hun, to your team is always here. Like, they've never stopped talking to you. They never stop talking to you. And so it's just listening, not even audibly, but understanding your knowings is language and communication. Your feelings is language and communications. Your daydreams are language and communications. That fluttery thing that you saw in the side of your vision, that's language and communication. So there's that movie that showed up, that song that played that kind of reminded you of the thing. All that is language and communication. And it's okay to believe what's happening. So you don't have to always have validation for it. You don't always have to understand it completely. You can just be like, so that happened. Okay, we'll unpack that later or when it shows up again. Do you know where I'm going with that?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't always have to have it validated and verified, because I feel like sometimes we validate and verify until we're like blue in the face because we're looking to have it confirmed. We're looking to have it confirmed. We're looking to have it confirmed, or it's not real unless it's been confirmed. Like, that takes all of the fun out of it. That takes all of the subtleties out of it. When you want a brick to the back of the head instead of just listening to the subtle knowings of what's going on around you. Make sense?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Is there anything else I can dig into for you, hun?
Nope, that's it.
It is?
That's really it. It's more or less, I guess, for me, yes, my whole love life. I need to, that's why I paused it. I was like, well, nope. And I won't allow myself. So a lot of my friends think I'm crazy.
You're not
I
crazy.
won't, because they're like, you're not dating. And you're like, no, you don't want to know. And they'd be like, no. And they'd be like, no. And it's not that I would never do it again. It's that I'm realizing and doing my inner child healing. There are things I have to address to her. And they're like, her. I was like, your child never dies. You just grow an outer shell. I was like, so I have to comfort her so she stops looking to be comforted by other people. I was like, because that's part of my problem. It's because I'm looking for somebody to do something that it could have been done or should have been done when I was a child, an actual child. However, it wasn't done and I can't go backwards. I don't have a magic wand. So all I can do is address it now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm not dating, because I allow red flags. I guess I allow myself to keep walking past red flags because they feed part of that child, and that child didn't like being alone and was lonely. And so it's like, but you have them here, so it's okay. And be like, no, we're gonna have to teach you that yes, it's okay to be alone. So that's why I'm making myself not date. I'm not allowing myself to date, is
Okay.
so that I can learn to be alone and work through those things, so that the next relationship, when I see that red flag, it's not, I'm gonna let that one slide. It's more like, we're gonna address this, or we're gonna talk about it, and
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna see if this is something that can be changed. Because some people, I do realize, and I've said this to my friends, I was like, what's a red flag to me and what's a red flag to you are different.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, so if I don't know that this is your red flag, how on earth am I supposed to know this is something that should be, or something you don't even know if I be willing to change or alter? So I tell people all the time, red flags are like, yes, there are staple pieces of red flags, like murderers and
I
convicts,
mean,
rapists. Like, you got some staples, but then
right.
there are other ones that it's like, if that's a red flag to you, how do you know it's a red flag to them? It might not even pop up on their radar. To
Mm-hmm.
them, it could be like, oh, well, I didn't know you didn't like that. Well,
Right.
let me work on changing that, or let me see what I can do so we can come to a medium. Now it's when the red flags address that nothing happens, or nobody tries to change, or nobody wants to alter and see what's going on or dive deeply, then it's a problem. But you
Mm-hmm.
first have to like go, hey, excuse me, there's something that I don't like really, and let me tell you why. And that person could adjust it, and then learning the difference between a red flag and a dislike. And people, like my friends, like, what do you mean? I was like, there's a red flag and there are dislikes. You're not going to like everything about everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible.
Right.
Like, literally, including the people you date. Just,
Yep.
there are going to be things that they do that work all of your nerves, all of them. But is that a red flag, or is it something you dislike? And there is a difference. A dislike, you'll get used to it, because, hey, those dislikes is part of what makes them who they are. And even though you feel like you dislike them, underlyingly, you probably love it. Because if they stop doing it, you'd be like, huh.
They're not that person
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly. Then you go, huh,
Nope.
well, wait, you changed something up. Whereas in a red flag, it's like this is a non-negotiable. We kind of need to either deal with it, or if we're not going to deal with it, then we need to dissolve what we have going on, because too many
Mm-hmm.
red flags. So that's why I'm doing the inner work, because I realize I have my own red flags. However, some of them have been things that have been addressed to me with this last person that I was just dating, that I was talking
Yeah.
about, that was never addressed before in any other relationship I ever had. So now it was like, wait, huh? Well, why did they let me get away with it and you're not letting me get away with it, and you're addressing it? So now it's making me go, huh. Well, now that you think about it, and I sit there, I'm not one to change because somebody told me to. I literally do round robin in my head, be like, is this an issue? This is probably an issue. It is an issue. Well, why did everybody else let me get away with it? Including like adults from when I was little, because I'm like, damn, yeah, some of y'all was real. Y'all fed some of these red flags, but for that person it was a red flag. For other people, it wasn't.
While I love all of that, I think the only thing that I would add is for you to still have the fearlessness to be yourself
Almost.
authentically.
So most definitely, that's the one thing I will say that I have made sure to continue to master. That hate me or love me, I'm always gonna be me. That's
Good.
why I'm doing what I'm doing. So like, the gifts and stuff like that. That's who I am. I'm a giver. I like giving. In fact, that's little do my friends know, giving makes me feel better.
Right.
And so like, Woody, they're like, yeah, I know, right? Spending money on other people makes you feel better. I was like, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like spending money on myself, but watching people light up at how I picked up little nuances from them that they didn't speak on. They never told me, but I just picked it up because I'm watching. That's
Mhm.
what I mean by intent, and watching go, oh, well, I didn't know you knew. I'd be like, yeah. Well,
Mhm.
how do you know that? Because I've seen X, Y, and Z. So you're really paying attention? I'm like, sometimes when I don't want to, but basically, yeah. That's like,
Good.
so that's why I say I can't help it sometimes. I don't know how to turn off watching or noticing everything. I need to learn how to turn that on and off, because there's sometimes, but it's a part of my job now.
It's a subtlety, and it's a fine line that you'll learn how to do, where it's like, yes, you can watch, yes, you can observe, you don't have to act. That's the subtlety between the two.
Oh.
So it's just, you can take the information in. It does not mean you're obligated to do something. However, I know in your work, yes, you are obligated to do something.
Exactly. I was like, people be like, you notice everything. I'd be like, that's a part of my job. I literally have to watch, hear, smell, and see everything. So, and there are things that I want to take my eyeballs back for.
I know,
like,
right?
I'll be like, I want to wash my eyes and make sure to be like, but I've seen it already. It's too late. And people like hear conversations that I'll be like, oh my God, why'd you tune in at the wrong end of that conversation? Like,
exactly.
and people like, I was like, that's literally my job.
Understand.
So turning it off outside of work, I'd be like, oh.
That's the practice. That's
like
the
ears,
practice.
You didn't need to hear the end of that conversation. Or you didn't need to see that. Like, my friends tell people all the time, they've known me for years and years. So they'll be like, don't say nothing around her. Don't even let her be in the next room over. She's like, I'm pretty sure she gets this from her mom. She can hear through walls. And I'll nod my head. I'll be like, probably. And they'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, I don't know. I'd be like,
no, it's a practice time. You will figure it out. You will figure it out, because it's like, eventually you'll get tired of it and you'll like, all right, we got to learn some skills. We got to ask somebody for some skills and some talents, because it's like, you don't have to ingest everything that comes your way. You can be observant to it and kind of duck and dodge. And I mean, all these skills that you're going to be learning, you'll also be learning them in relation to the person that you're just dating or the person that you're just talking to. So it's all stuff that's going to be useful for you over time, and you'll figure it out. I have full on faith that you will figure it out. I know that you will. But a lot of it will be experience. A lot of it will be time. A lot of it will be as you evolve. Your friend group will evolve as well. And you guys will have different standards. So it's just, as you get better, you'll start being around better and around different people, and it'll just shift and change. So it just feels like you're on this great big old stage of your life existence, and this is just where it's at right now. But there's nothing wrong with it when it's still mutually beneficial. When you got this stuff like that you were talking about, this woman that was watching you for a while, and you guys weren't really vibing that way or being petty towards each other, y'all will figure it out. I do believe that y'all will figure it out.
Thank you. But that was all. Just as long as next week, I'm just trying. I'm making myself focus on work. So, as long as next week goes right, I'm speaking it to existence. That's the other thing that I said I have to put on my altar next week. But that's about it. That's all I have. Everything else, I feel like it's life. I guess if that makes sense. It'll be like, I get it. It comes and goes.
It will. Alrighty, honey. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and pull you off screen. I'm going to say my goodbyes to everyone else. You two hang out for me. I'm going to come back and visit with y'all in just a moment. All right?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Alrighty, guys. Let me be all dramatic. I want to hop back into the comments just to say hello one last time before we kind of wrap things up. Miss Denise. I love that comment that you said. It's like, if she's here, then she's receptive. Heck yeah. That's an epic little splash. Aw, do you only get readings from me? Because I know that you actually are scheduled for a demonstration here soon too. Oh my goodness. And I'm assuming Miss Lady's got the little, what do you call them? Little spammers just a little bit ago, but it's all good. But Denise, I'm glad that you had the opportunity to see what it's like to get a session with me. Miss Lori even did a little comment there. But you guys, if you're ever interested in getting some work one-on-one with me, you can totally directly schedule with me at the website. 2 seconds. Let me share it again. Where'd it go? There's it is. Wait. I will finesse this soon. I will be awesome eventually. But yes, you can schedule with me directly at the website. That is the only method in which I schedule my appointments. So if anybody reaches out to you to say, hey, DM me for anything, understand that that is not me, hun. Please ban, block, and delete. And if for some reason they have my face attached to it, send me that profile so I can also report it. But you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It was a lot of fun visiting with Miss Mindy, Miss Kendra, and I look forward to doing this again, not next week, but the week after. So I hope you guys will come and visit, come and hang out, and I'll see you guys here again soon. So I'll hold on. I'm going to bring my ladies on so they can say goodbye or give their hellos. I think I will. There it goes. All right, ladies.
Bye. Bye.